The Lord of the Rings, Baggins' Legacy. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting its golden hues over the tranquil gardens of Bag End, a sense of peace settled upon Hobbiton. Bilbo Baggins, elderly and eccentric yet endearing in his own right, resided in the cozy confines of his hobbit hole. Once the hero of the adventures chronicled in The Lord of the Rings, he now savored the quietude of old age and the comfort of wealth. Bag End, nestled amidst the rolling hills of the Shire, stood as a beacon of hospitality. Bilbo's abode was renowned among hobbits for its warm gatherings, especially the legendary tea parties held in his garden. Tonight, however, held a special occasion. Bilbo was preparing to host a grand celebration in honor of his upcoming birthday. Seated in his favorite chair in the garden, Bilbo surveyed the scene with a contented smile. The soft glow of lanterns illuminated the pathways, casting enchanting shadows upon the verdant lawn. A gentle breeze rustled through the leaves, carrying with it the faint scent of flowers in bloom. In a corner of the garden, Gandalf's figure emerged from the gathering dusk. With his flowing gray robes and iconic staff, the wizard cut a striking figure against the fading light. Bilbo's smile widened as he waved a welcoming hand to his old friend. Gandalf's eyes sparkled with anticipation as he approached Bilbo. There was an air of excitement tinged with mystery about him, as if he carried tidings of great import. Bilbo, ever curious, leaned forward in his chair, eager to hear what Gandalf had to say. "Ah, Gandalf, my dear friend," Bilbo greeted him warmly. "What brings you to Bag End on this fine evening?" Gandalf's voice carried a hint of mischief as he replied, "Why, Bilbo, can't a friend pay a visit to celebrate a special occasion?" Bilbo chuckled, knowing full well that Gandalf's visits often heralded unexpected adventures. "Of course, my dear Gandalf, but pray tell, what news do you bring? Is there a dragon lurking about, or perhaps a wizard in need of assistance?" Gandalf's eyes twinkled with amusement. "No dragons or wizards in distress, I'm afraid. Tonight we celebrate a different kind of magic, the magic of friendship, laughter, and good cheer." Bilbo's heart swelled with warmth at Gandalf's words. Despite the passage of years and the trials of life, their bond remained steadfast and true. He knew that whatever the evening held in store, it would be a celebration to remember. Gandalf's words hung in the air, mingling with the soft melodies of distant songbirds. Bilbo leaned back in his chair, a twinkle in his eye as he savored the anticipation of the evening's festivities. As dusk deepened into night, guests began to arrive at Bag End, their laughter and chatter filling the air with a joyful energy. Hobbits of all shapes and sizes streamed into the garden, their faces alight with excitement at the prospect of celebrating Bilbo's birthday. Among the guests was Frodo Baggins, Bilbo's beloved nephew and heir. Clad in his finest attire, Frodo greeted his uncle with a warm embrace, his eyes shining with affection and admiration. The garden soon filled with the merry sounds of music and merriment. A band of minstrels played lively tunes, their melodies weaving through the crowd like a thread of magic. Hobbits danced beneath the starlit sky, their laughter mingling with the gentle rustle of leaves. Bilbo moved among his guests, his heart overflowing with happiness. He shared tales of his adventures, regaling his friends with stories of dragons, wizards, and daring escapes. Gandalf watched with a fond smile, his eyes crinkling at the corners as he listened to Bilbo's tales. As the night wore on, Bilbo felt a sense of contentment wash over him. Surrounded by friends old and new, he basked in the warmth of their companionship. For in moments like these, he knew that the true magic of life could be found in the simple joys of friendship and fellowship. But little did Bilbo know that beneath the surface of this idyllic evening, shadows lurked in the darkness. Unseen and unnoticed, a figure moved through the garden, its presence masked by the revelry of the celebration. And as the final notes of the minstrel's song faded into the night, a whisper of unease stirred in the air, foreshadowing events yet to come. The morning sun rose over the rolling hills of the Shire, casting a golden glow upon the tranquil landscape. But within the confines of Bag End, a sense of unease lingered in the air, like a shadow creeping across the garden. Bilbo awoke to find Gandalf standing at the foot of his bed, his expression grave. The warmth of the previous night's festivities seemed a distant memory as Bilbo sat up, his heart heavy with concern. "Gandalf, what troubles you?" Bilbo asked, his voice tinged with apprehension. The wizard's eyes bore into Bilbo's with an intensity that sent a shiver down his spine. "I fear that all is not well in the Shire, my dear friend," Gandalf replied. "There are whispers of a dark presence lurking in the shadows, a threat that threatens to disrupt the peace we hold dear." Bilbo's brow furrowed with worry as he absorbed Gandalf's words. Though the Shire had long been a bastion of tranquility, he knew that danger could lurk in even the most idyllic of settings. "What kind of threat do you speak of, Gandalf? Is it a band of marauding orcs or something far more sinister?" Gandalf's expression darkened as he spoke. "I cannot say for certain, Bilbo, but there are rumors of strange happenings in the borderlands, of travelers disappearing without a trace and livestock vanishing in the dead of night. It is as if a shadow has fallen over the land, casting fear and uncertainty into the hearts of its inhabitants." Bilbo's heart sank at Gandalf's words. Though he had long retired from the adventuring life, the call to action still stirred within him. He knew that he could not stand idly by while his homeland faced such peril. "What do you propose we do, Gandalf?" Bilbo asked, his voice steady despite the fear gnawing at his heart. Gandalf's eyes gleamed with determination as he replied, "We must gather our allies and uncover the truth behind these dark tidings. The fate of the Shire hangs in the balance, and we cannot afford to delay." With a heavy heart, Bilbo nodded in agreement. Though he knew that the road ahead would be fraught with danger, he also knew that he could not turn his back on his homeland in its hour of need. And so, as the first rays of sunlight bathed the garden in a warm embrace, Bilbo and Gandalf set forth on a journey that would test their courage, their friendship, and their resolve to overcome the shadows that threatened to engulf them all. Underneath the vast expanse of the open sky, Bilbo and Gandalf journeyed across the verdant landscapes of the Shire. Their path meandered through fields of swaying wheat and dense forests alive with the chorus of songbirds. Yet despite the beauty that surrounded them, a sense of foreboding hung heavy in the air. As they traveled, Bilbo and Gandalf sought out allies to aid them in their quest. They visited the homes of old friends and acquaintances, sharing tales of the growing darkness that threatened to engulf the land. Many were hesitant to believe the rumors, dismissing them as nothing more than idle gossip. But there were those who sensed the truth in Gandalf's words, and they pledged their support to the cause. Among their allies was Samwise Gamgee, loyal friend and steadfast companion to Frodo Baggins. With his unwavering courage and indomitable spirit, Samwise offered his aid without hesitation, determined to stand against the encroaching shadows. Together, the unlikely band of heroes set forth on their journey, their resolve unyielding in the face of adversity. Their path led them through rugged terrain and treacherous obstacles, testing their strength and their unity as they pressed ever onward. But as they traveled deeper into the heart of the Shire, they soon realized that their task would not be an easy one. Dark clouds gathered on the horizon, obscuring the light of the sun and casting the land into shadow. A palpable sense of dread hung in the air, as if the very earth itself cried out in anguish. Bilbo and his companions pressed onward, their hearts heavy with the weight of the task that lay before them, for they knew that the fate of the Shire hung in the balance, and they would not rest until they had vanquished the darkness that threatened to consume their homeland. As they journeyed ever closer to the source of the encroaching shadows, Bilbo and his companions braced themselves for the trials that lay ahead, for they knew that the true test of their courage and their resolve was yet to come,